Maybe you're afraid of speaking in public or driving in busy traffic. Maybe you're afraid of spiders or going to the dentist, going to the doctor, flying, or even of something as simple as making a phone call. These fears can feel very small and insignificant to others, but when you experience them, well, they feel really very real. And they make you hesitate. They make you avoid certain things. And slowly, they can start shaping the way you live your life. So today we're going to talk about the Bach Flower Remedy Mimulus, a remedy that helps transform fear and fear of the world into courage and trust. Hi, I'm Michelle. I am a Bach Flower practitioner and vibrational healer, and I help emotionally sensitive and aware people heal their inner world and improve their lives using the beautiful Bach Flower remedies. And Mimulus, I think, is one of the most important remedies in the whole Bach Flower system because it addresses something almost everyone experiences at some point: fear of specific things in life. Mimulus is the remedy for fear of known things. This is very different from some kind of vague anxiety. With Mimulus, you usually know exactly what you're afraid of. Examples could be fear of spiders, fear of dogs or other animals, fear of driving, fear of public speaking, fear of going to the doctor, fear of needles or blood tests, fear of illness, fear of meeting new people, fear of the dark. These fears are very concrete and earthly, and people in a mimulus state are usually very aware of them. They may say things like, "I know it's irrational, but I'm still afraid." And often they don't really obsess about it all day, but when the situation appears, the fear appears too. What is interesting about Mimulus is that these fears can sometimes multiply over time. Maybe someone starts with a fear of spiders, then it becomes a fear of snakes, then they realize they also feel uncomfortable in the dark, then maybe they become afraid of driving on the highway or speaking in front of people. The list slowly can become longer, and eventually, when you look deeper at it, it can start to feel like the person is really afraid of life itself. And not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet, subtle way. Life feels overwhelming. The world feels a little bit unsafe. Mimulus people are often very sensitive and fine-tuned individuals. Maybe if you're in a mimulus state, you may notice things like blushing easily, nervous laughter, talking quickly when nervous, stuttering, clammy hands, tension in social situations. And sometimes people with mimulus fears even appear very outgoing or energetic, my little cat, because they try to hide their nervousness. But underneath that, they're often quite sensitive and thoughtful people. And this sensitivity is also why many artists and actors and musicians or creative people can sometimes experience that mimulus state. They look very outgoing, but they're actually really shy. They feel the world very deeply. If we look deeper, the mimulus state is often connected to sensitivity to life itself. The world can feel intense, too many people, too much noise, too much stimulation. And some people in a mimulus state may feel uncomfortable with things like crowded places, loud environments, bright lights, overwhelming social situations. So they start avoiding certain situations, not because they are weak, but because they are sensitive to their own environment. So mimulus is really used for fear of known things, but as you see, it can go much, much further than that. Now, on a deeper level, the mimulus lesson is about learning courage. Not the courage of someone who feels no fear at all, but the courage of someone who learns to move forward despite of fear. Because when the mind constantly measures the world with fear, well, everything starts to look very dangerous, obviously. Driving becomes super dangerous. Going outside becomes dangerous. Walking down your staircase is dangerous. Trying new things is super dangerous. Life itself starts to feel like a threat. But the soul knows something different. The soul understands that life is not something to hide from. It is something to participate in. When we reconnect with that deeper trust, something shifts. We begin to realize that we are not alone in life, that there is a deeper intelligence guiding the process. And when we align with that deeper guidance, courage naturally begins to grow. So Mimulus helps transform fear into courage and sensitivity into quiet confidence. It doesn't make you super reckless suddenly. It doesn't eliminate caution. Instead, it restores a natural balance where fear no longer controls your choices. You begin to feel calmer when facing situations that used to frighten you, and life begins to feel more open again. I used to have a very strong fear of spiders, and interestingly, I was taking Mimulus, but not at all for that. I was taking Mimulus because I was afraid to drive in busy traffic. And that fear disappeared, and later I noticed something really surprising when I encountered a spider in my house. That fear simply wasn't there anymore. It had quietly dissolved. And that really showed me something important about this remedy. Mimulus doesn't really just treat one specific fear. It doesn't care if it's spiders or dogs or traffic. It helps to dissolve the pattern of fear itself. You can use Mimulus in many situations. For instance, preparing for public speaking, overcoming a specific phobia, fear of medical procedures, social anxiety, fear of new experiences or adventures. It doesn't really matter whether you are naturally a sensitive Mimulus type or whether you are temporarily experiencing a Mimulus state. The remedy can help in both situations. If you're interested in learning how to work with Bach Flower remedies more deeply, you might enjoy my course, Bloom into Balance. In this course, I guide you step by step through understanding emotional patterns, choosing the right remedies, and creating your own remedy bottles, and working with remedies to transform your life. You can also join my community, the Remedy Circle, where people share their experiences and we learn together about Bach Flower remedies. And if you join now, you have free access lifelong. All the links are below in the video. Now, how can you take Mimulus? The simplest way to use Mimulus is this. You go to the store, your local health store, or you find a website where you can find Bach Flower Remedy stock bottles, and you choose Mimulus, 10 milliliter. When you have it, you add 2 drops of Mimulus to a bottle of still water, 250 liter, 500 milliliter, it's all fine. And you sip throughout the day. You do this for 2 to 3 weeks and observe what changes. Very often people notice that situations that once felt frightening simply start to feel more manageable, gently. So again, whether you are a Mimulus type or you just want to get rid of a fear, a phobia you have, Mimulus is really a remedy. Think of anyone with a phobia, please send them this video. Mimulus is very easy to find in your local health store or online, and it's fairly cheap. If I knew this earlier, I could have made my life so much easier. You just need to take it consistent, let's say for minimum 3 weeks. I took Mimulus about 10 years ago and I don't have any scare for spiders anymore. I mean, I wouldn't keep one as a pet, obviously, but I certainly don't have any breakdowns anymore. If this video helped you understand Mimulus better, let me know in the comments. And if you know someone who struggles with a specific fear, a specific phobia, please feel free to share this video with them. Watching my videos, sharing them, or even leaving a comment helps my channel grow more than you know, and it's totally free. I loved making this video. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.